content himself with his work in the office or in the Atomic Research Center. He introduced an employees' welfare scheme in the department, which came to be seen by everybody as a model of its kind and a forerunner of the employee state insurance scheme of the government. Then, while he was stationed in Mumbai, a city which has tremendous charm and beauty, but also tremendous pollution and ugliness, he created the Society for Clean Environment, which was the first ever serious environmental metropolitan organization anywhere in our country. And that was done by Dr. Abu Bakr. Even that was not enough. He set up a special school in Trombay, which is right near Bombay, near Mumbai, for the mentally handicapped, the mentally disabled. So here you have three different significant activities. But even that, these three institutions that he founded, these three causes, employees' welfare, environment, and mental handicap, he pioneered and led the activity for these causes, but he still managed to find time to realize that students needed some practical help and guidance in getting ahead with their life. And he created a handbook on after SSLC what, which led to the creation ultimately of the institution that has made his name here, the Center for Information and Guidance India, or CG. What's striking is that a man who was so busy at work did not feel that he had earned a rest. One normally says that to be retired, you have to be tired. But clearly when he decided to retire, he was not tired at all. And he started continuing to work in the field of education and training immediately after his retirement from the Bhabha Atomic Research Center. He became director of the Al Farooq Education Center in the Farooq College campus in Kozhikode. And he started introducing the whole notion of counseling, guidance counseling for students, career counseling, and then about 15 years ago set up CG, which to me seems to be, when you look at it, it's the kind of institution which makes you wonder, why didn't someone think of this before? And the short answer is because there was no Dr. Abu Bakr before. It had to be him to think about it and come up with this extraordinary institution. There's a lovely story in the materials that were sent to me by the Trust of how, on his own, with very little support, he started functioning. And today he has a large complex, a couple of office buildings, a flourishing institution. But what I'm interested in congratulating him for is that in addition to providing the basic guidance on higher education and career planning, which all of us here who have either been or have been parents of children about to leave high school and college will know is so indispensable. In addition to that, he has got a number of other activities coming out of his efforts. And his acronyms are wonderful. This would only have worked in English. Students Training for Excellent Performance is called STEP. STEP is a program where he takes orphan children without parents and gives them the opportunity to improve their performance, particularly children from class 9 and 10 in orphanages. And he gives them the required training and motivation to uplift them and put them in the right orbit. Then apart from SAGE, from STEP, there is something called SAGE. SAGE is Social Action for Grassroots Empowerment, a visionary project to uplift backward minority segments in our country, and in particular in our state of Kerala. And the challenge is to work with youth at the bottom of society, what Mamata Banerjee would call the Trinamool level. That is where he is functioning through the SAGE program. Then you've got the HRD, Human Resources Development Activities. He's got an aptitude test that he actually runs so that students can find their aptitude. We should not judge merely by what course they can get admission to, but what abilities they have. Creative workshops, programs during vacations, and even training for corporates and government institutions. And what is particularly striking about all this is that in doing all of this work, he takes a princely salary of 1 rupee a month. Only princes can afford that, but this is what he's doing. I wanted to recount these details of Dr. Abu Bakr's career to make a very simple point, that ultimately individuals do make a difference. We tend to believe, particularly in our rather leftist inclined state, that social forces and class movements and all of these things are what create results in our society. But the truth is, and even the ruling party here has discovered this, that social movements are not enough. You need individuals, because it's ultimately the individual who leads, it is the individual who guides, it is the individual who delivers results. And that is why to give this award today to Dr. Abu Bakr is very much the right thing to do. Because not only has he lived an exemplary life, not only has he done all these things that I've described to you from his papers, but he has imparted to others. He was telling me as we were sitting, not only is he a teacher and one who has taught many, but at least two famous national figures in our country. Dr. Madhavan Nair was his student. Dr. Madhavan Nair of ISRO studied under the guidance of Dr. Abu Bakr and came forward. And the second example, Dr. Abu Bakr, you mentioned to me, of an eminent scientist. Dr. Kakodkar, whom I have met and spoken to, who ran the Atomic Energy Center in India. Dr. Kakodkar is a very, very eminent figure, just retired, in fact, from government service. He too was in the second batch of students of Dr. Abu Bakr. So his contribution to the country has not only been through his own efforts, it has been through inculcating and shaping the efforts of others who themselves have made a contribution to our country. So that is the great multiplying effect of a true mentor. A mentor is one who, apart from what he gives of himself to the nation and to society, trains others to also give to our society. So this is a gentleman who deserves a huge, huge degree of applause and honor from all of us. In our society, needs are great. We have a lot of young people. In fact, as you all know, 65% of the population of India is under 35 years of age. Now, this could be a good thing. It could be what they call a demographic dividend, because it would mean that we have a productive, dynamic, effective, hard-working workforce for the next 30 years at a time when the rest of the world, including China, is aging. But these young people will only succeed, and India will only succeed, if they are trained, if they are educated, if they are taught, and if they are in a position, therefore, to make a difference in our society. Because the alternative is horrendous to contemplate. Uneducated, untrained, frustrated youth are at the root of many of the revolutions, many of the disturbances, the Maoist movements and Naxalite movements in many parts of the world. So we must understand, if you want young people to be successful, to contribute, to make a difference, and to head the entire society in a positive direction, you must train them, you must guide them, you must counsel them, you must educate them, and you must render them fit to provide service to your society. That is what Dr. Abu Bakr's efforts have been done, and for that I'm very proud to stand here today and have had the privilege of handing over to him personally this year's HADDAD Award for Outstanding Social Service. A brief word also to our honoree, Dr. Musliar. Dr. Musliar has come, as you know, I had the privilege of giving him a shawl. He has also been in education. He has been handled with the man. He has been honored with the Man of Vision Award for his contributions in the field of education, industry, and business. It's wonderful to see that somebody who has come from a cashew export background has actually contributed not only exports and economic benefit to the society, but has done a great deal with educational institutions in Kerala, and he is currently heading the TKM College Trust, which has educated large numbers of children in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, and elsewhere in the state. So with these words, I want to once again congratulate the HADDAD Charitable Trust for having picked such distinguished people to award and to honor. I feel particularly gratified that they have chosen the fields of education and training, and I feel all the more